Okay, happy to be back. Sherry, how's your day going?
Oh, it's going great. We're in it to win it. That's what
Yes,
we're here
we
today.
yes we are. Today is all about money. Well, this whole month is all about money, but today is all about your love affair with money. Love affairs can be beautiful. They can be passionate, and they can be really painful. They can be torturous. I know I've been in both, from one extreme to the other, and everything in between. So I speak from a place of experience with affairs and money affairs. So but yeah. So life,
Throw it all
life,
out there. Yes.
life. Well, money is tied to everything in life.
It
It really
is.
affects every aspect of ourselves. So Sherry, I am super excited to really go through the whole physical, mental, emotional, spiritual aspect and how money affects each and every part of us, each and every part of our lives. And I'm excited to get your perspective because I know what I've been physically, mentally, and a lot over the years. And I've been on a planet for a few a few decades. So,
Mhm.
multiply a couple of times. So let's go. You know, so experience is there. But anyway, so we're here today to talk about really a really serious topic that's going to actually make a big difference, I believe, in our lives. And Sherry, with your perspective, the science behind it, why do we do what we do? Why do we feel the way we do? Is going to be a key component in this. Let's talk about our topic today. So what's just the bird's eye view from your perspective? What are we doing here?
Today, really, it's about, you know, what is an affair? How does it creep into our life? How does it take hold of our heart and hold of our mind, hold of our body, and propel us in a direction? So that's really the crux of everything that we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah. So let's talk about the physical aspect of it. Our comfort zone with money. Um, well, how do we know what our comfort zone is? How do we, I mean, how do we gauge that? Because money plays a huge part in our lives, in our physical lives. So what are we talking about here? How do we look at it?
Well, we have to look at our basic needs. We have, and all humans have, just a hierarchy of needs that we have to meet. This is our food, this is our shelter, this is the sustenance that gets us through our day to day. And, you know, like most affairs, when you aren't getting enough in one place, you go and seek it out in another place. This could easily apply to careers. It's if the money isn't enough to give us what we think we need to meet our basic needs, we move along. If maybe some financial obligations aren't giving us what we need in the long run, we go and put ourselves in a position with a whole nother set of obligations, whether it's investing in careers, investing in stocks, investing in a person or in a relationship. But relationships is a whole nother month of topics for us, but we'll definitely get there. But it's understanding that from this physical side, we have to do what we have to do in order to survive. Because if we aren't going to meet those basic needs, our bodies just go ahead and turn inward and go, well, we don't know what we're wanting out of this situation. So maybe I'm just going to withdraw from it. And maybe I'm just going to leave that behind. And that's what's really important about understanding what the physical component of getting our needs met, and understanding where money plays a huge part in what we do on a day-to-day basis so that we can continue to move forward.
So our physical needs, okay. our basic needs are food and shelter. So, those who are watching this, we're going to assume that they do have enough food to eat and they have a roof over their head. But that's just the beginning. Um, we crave, you know, bigger, better all the time. And so, how do we decide what is our comfort zone? Because here's the thing. Some people's comfort zone is a Bentley, others it's a beat up old car. Because not good or bad, that's just where they are, right? And so if your comfort zone is you need something really fancy. Well, what do you need it for? Is it to feel better about yourself, or is it a tool for business? Is it a tool? What do you need that bigger and better for? That's the question that I'm looking at, because in life we are judged by what we need. If somebody's running for the president of a country, they need to be in bigger circles. They need to be in affluent circles. Whereas somebody who is just we we want really to be stress free as much as possible. Maybe we have enjoyed certain things in life, and then we're settling. I don't have to rush anymore. As you know, I'm in that category. I've raised a child, I've had businesses, and along the way, and I go, okay, what do I really want to be happy? That question actually has been coming up a lot for me. What kind of car do I need? What kind of house do I need? What do I need to be content? Because that's where I am right now. It's about contentment. It's not about impressing others. It's not even about impressing myself. It's just, being being okay, being comfortable, being content with my choices. And so this is where, the hustle comes in. So let's talk about that. How do we know what our comfort zone is? How do we know what we want it for? Is it a need to feel better about ourselves, or is it it's just I'm just going to toss it over to you, because I don't even know how to go about this question.
Well, but Anne, you brought in the perfect point and the at the perfect moment. It's this is our cognitive base or our mental mindset is this is the money mindset that you have right in our description. It's the knowing what you have versus acknowledging what you want. And we come from every person is unique and they come from a background that has a moral system, a value system, a judgment system, and we bring all of these things into play as well as all of our desires, because, just like affairs, this is about desire of what we want and how we're going to attain it. And so when you look at your space, your cognitive space, or your mindset space, you get to determine. And that could be any determination, whether you want the Rolls or you want the Bentley. But what do you need? That's that air quote. The needs is really what it comes back down to. And yeah, it sounds
Okay,
like you were going
okay.
to say something. Go
Well,
ahead, throw it at me.
you always spark up something. So as I
Yes.
have something else. Now, one of the challenges I had in my life, with everything, is understanding the difference between my needs and my wants. You know,
Okay.
and so sometimes I thought a want was a need. I was like, if I need that to be happy. No, that wasn't true. I would
Mm,
actually go after whatever it was, and no, I'm not happy. I was like, okay. So, oh no, I need that to be happy. And I would go, whether it was money, work, partner, whatever, so I would decide something's going to make me happy, because I was really chasing after happiness, right?
mhm.
So, how do we know? How can we tell the difference between our needs and our wants? Because what I found, my needs were few, my wants were many.
Oh, yes. So our needs are what's detrimental for us continuing to exist. And by, by such, food. We need food. Now, basic food versus luxury items. Okay, the luxury items are wants. We don't have to have those things in order to continue to survive on a most primal level, on a most, species based level, human level. So the need is what is detrimental to our existence. The want is simply, again, just desire. We can absolutely sustain without it. And so that's where you can give yourself this cognitive space to say, okay, do I need this? Do I want this? Is this detrimental for my existence day to day? Is this something that it doesn't make any difference to my basic, operating materials for the day? Do I need the food? Do I need the shelter? Does it provide those things? Probably not. So it stays in the want category. Would I really, 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 really like it? Sure. Do I really need it? No.
Okay. So let's use our whoops, I'm having my lights going on. Yay!
Bright ideas, bright ideas.
There you go, bright ideas. Okay. Earlier you and I were talking about our pig system,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So we start P stands for perception,
Mm-hmm.
I stands for inventory, and C stands for choice. So let's run through this because let's even if we just take basic need for food.
Mm-hmm.
Some people need to eat organic. Some people don't. The money that's needed to eat organic versus regular, it could be different, but internally it could be a need. Like they
Mm-hmm.
can't eat something that's not organic because it's against everything. And so how do we assess our perception? How do we assess our inventory, and how do we make a choice? Let's talk about that when it comes to our money mindset. And the thing that I do want to point out for me, um, a while ago I was actually talking about something with one of my mentors, and she just said, "Ann, that's a deservability issue." And so my understanding is that everything I have in my life is because I think I deserve that, right? Whatever the quality may be, whatever the quantity may be, because I believe I deserve that. So deservability versus need, and if I have, I'm just really going around a rabbit hole in this because all different things are coming across. So so because it got really it got really confusing for me as I'm looking at
Uh-huh.
this. I'm like, wait, if I have everything around me that I think I deserve, yes, I would like a better car. Well, do I need a better car for work? Do I need, whatever it is that I'm thinking that I may need? So how do we do this? It's so confusing. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the Deservability Travel Agency. I'm Sherry. I will be taking care of you from this point forward because we're going to bring it back to the easier topic of food and in that perception and inventory and choice. Because food is a huge topic since it is one of our basic human needs. Actually, it's any living animal requires some food of some sort. I could use myself as the case study in this instance. Like I've mentioned in previous episodes, that I do suffer from chronic illness and multiple other conditions that you won't hear me talk about all too often unless it's necessary. But I have a very heavily restricted diet because my body will not only reject a lot of things, it becomes very, very ill, very inflamed. So I have to look at my plate, if you will, or I have to look at the grocery store as a matter of perception of what is out here for me that I can take in because this is my need to sustain life. And then taking the inventory across whether it's the market or my refrigerator or my pantry or even my plate, because I'm the one that then chooses what goes on there and saying, okay, these are the items that I need in order to feel good, to bring about the happiness with my existence from the external and internal place. And then also understanding, well, in the long run, if I don't do it this way, what is it going to cost me? Will it cost me in turn hospital bills? Will it cost me additional medical intervention? Is it going to change the longevity of my life? And those are some very serious questions that many of us face in terms of this pick type system of how do I meet my need and how do I make sure that I tell myself I do deserve to buy organic because I really need to have the organic in order to then continue in a basis where I'm going to function at my highest level possible. So I make the choices to do so. Now, could I eat other things and still sustain? Sure, I can sustain, but I won't feel very good. And I won't have a good, healthy day or week or month. And that may affect my health overall. And then would it be worth it? Well, those were the choices I make. And I have to ask myself this all the time. If I'm choosing this food, I'm choosing it because I want it. There's that my affair with food. I'm Filipino. I have a huge affair with food every single day, and it's a choice. Man, is it rough because I am the cheater if I can be, but boy, is it painful when it comes to that method. Um, and that's just truly where it lies. Is that's the need versus the want, the desire versus the consequence of some of our
Okay.
actions.
Okay. So let's go down a rabbit hole on that. So food does affect how we feel.
Hmm.
And thank God I don't have any major illnesses, chronic. Just but food does affect how I feel, and so in your case, especially when you do have some things that you have to monitor, right? So, investment in food that may cost more is going to
Hmm.
affect you physically. If you're affected physically, if you're not feeling well, you can't work. You can't work, you can't make money. See, it's like the money health relationships, it
Hmm.
always one affects the other. And so, uh, I see it an investment in food, better quality food, does in fact affect our physical and financial state. So
Yes.
regardless whether if you're healthy and you want to eat garbage, you're going to get sick eventually. So do you invest in your future by being mindful? And that's where I am right now because my body's not feeling like when I was 20 years old, and that's okay. But I can roll with it. So in effect, no matter what, eating healthier, investing in our future. So, okay, I'm getting the physical and the money mindset out. I deserve to eat healthy food. I deserve to invest more money in my health so I can feel better physically. I can look better physically. Yes?
Hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the emotional.
And did you know that there is the biggest food and mood connection in research today than there's ever been before? But even 10 years ago, I operated with this in my clinic, food additives, for those of you that want to see it up close. And that's a free hook to, I bought
It's
this, I
actually
think, at
flipped,
Whole Foods.
It's flipped. It's reversed.
Oh, well, it says
Yeah.
food additives.
Yeah.
I'll put a link into it. Um, but this book in particular shows every type of food additive that there is and how it affects you on both on actually the physical, the cognitive, and the emotional space because just disruptors that come out through chemicals makes us emotionally labile. Labile meaning the up and down and more erratic than we normally would be. But again, this isn't something that most people understand. But even some of our money based decisions, when we're operating off of this addictive pattern that comes out of food, we do know this, we've heard this kind of here and there, whether it's social media in the major news or you're seeing just driving down the street and you see how people are taking this organic approach and plant based approach because they're understanding that more and more we are operating in food choices from an emotional state because it does affect us all the way around. So it's
It,
funny
it
how we landed on this topic as a subsidiary from the love affair with money.
Well, because it is okay. So that's the whole point of this. That's why, folks. That's why we're actually doing a month on money and how it affects us in our, well, obviously financially, physically, emotionally, yes, but we're talking about how money shows up in our health, how money shows up in our relationships, and all that. So we'll be looking at them. But today you're using health as as an example. But know that next month we'll be doing this whole thing, walking through the whole mechanism
Hmm.
uh, as it relates to health, and Sherry being an expert, in health and all that. So you're going to learn a lot more about her. But let's get back to money. Let's get
Yes.
back to money. So emotionally, I understand that I'm okay. I'm investing in myself, and I need to, eat better and all that. So I get that, and we make those choices. So we, when as it relates to food, but also we invest money in our relationships.
Hmm.
You know, Well, so how does that show up? Our relationships affect our mood as well, emotionally.
There's
Big time,
the
big
understatement of
time.
the day.
Yeah, and I mean, think about every relationship that has gone down the to the divorce court, if you will. It's been most of them. It's because it's somewhere along the way money played a part in it, right?
Yep,
And
financial
so,
stress.
yeah, yeah,
And this is really where the emotional component comes into play when it comes to money, because the more sense of security that you have related to your financial safety and understanding where you're at, the more resilience you have, the more emotional control that you may have. The emotional well being is so much more intact because you do feel like it's not threatened. And again, when things are not threatened in our life, we don't feel like we have to run from it or we have to fight it or we have to make up some big story around it. And again, so this is really where promoting our emotional wellness is so important in terms of starting at this baseline of money being the foundation for meeting our needs.
yeah. So money emotionally, okay. I know a lot of people look at it, from all different perspectives. Some people think it's good. Some people think it's bad. Some people think it's too powerful. Some it just, I know for me, we talked about this, last time, where fear and faith. I grew up thinking having a lot of money was dangerous because I was born in Armenia, without going in deep into the story. And then throughout the years, money was like, okay, money is a means to power. Money is a means to love and taking care of your family. I want to give the best to my daughter. So money shows up in all different aspects of our lives all the time. So if we have a negative relationship with money, uh, it doesn't work. So do we separate how we feel about money when it comes to different aspects of our lives? Because it's a jumbled up mess.
Hmm. And that's really where you're taking that assessment on your inventory. Where is money at in my life? Where does it play its part? I don't have to have the emotional attachment to it if I choose not to. It's one of those, what do I need versus what do I want? And operating simply from the need perspective. The wants are just the bonus items. And when you separate that thought of, oh my gosh, I need this exorbitant amount of money, or I'm never, ever, ever going to be happy, versus, oh, I need this foundationally to satisfy all of my basic needs and in my household. Everything else beyond that, I'm going to put over here. So this is where you do, it is proper, I guess, or appropriate to separate the two out. Does that make
So
sense?
yeah, it does, because it feels like now I can be emotionally in better control of my emotions, as well as my choices, as well as my money and how I use it. So it makes perfect sense. So if we use a pig system, first is my perception. Do I need? to do to a certain amount of money? Do I need to buy organic? Do I need to go on a global tour with my family to spend time with them? Or do you know, like, what are my choices, right? So what do I really need based on the amount of money I have? So what can I do to build those relationships? What can I do to take care of my health? And yeah, so then we make the choices. Okay, so if I don't have enough money to be eating organic, let's say, because it costs more, for some people, it's an issue, you know. So then what do? I make the second best choice of, okay, I'm not going to be eating this foods because they're bad for me, but I'm just going to be eating more vegetables, let's say, whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
So that's kind of what we do, right? We simplify it.
Yes. Going off of, since this is our money topic, starting with a base plan of a budget. What does a simple foundational budget look like? Because we get wrapped up emotionally so quickly in, I can't afford this. I can't afford that. I can't. How am I ever going to do this? If I want to take this, I'm going to be saving forever. But do you really know where you're starting from? Do you know how and where each line item in your basic monthly budget fits? Are you making enough money to sustain even that little lifestyle change that you want to maybe implement? Maybe it won't fit in this month, but is there other areas that is just become wasteful? And this is why I do a lot of budgeting with a lot of my clients. And I'm sure that's exactly what we'll get to within our bigger program here.
Mm,
But it's understanding that, yeah, I need to know what's my starting point. Is even the basic being met?
yeah. So then, so we covered the physical, and we
Hmm.
covered our mindset that we can have whatever we want. Really, if we think we deserve it, we will get it. We will, we have to choose. We have to be realistic, and the emotional aspect of it, which plays a huge part. Do I want this just to feel better, or do I want it because it just feels better? I don't need to feel better. So then let's dive into the spiritual aspect, which I think is a really, really important one, especially for me. I'm, very, very spiritually based. So to me, it's like money is energy, right? So we hear a lot of people say, if you don't like something, what would it come to you? So if we have a healthy relationship with money, we're much more likely to attract it. Like they said, a law of attraction. But how do we fit spirituality with money? Well, if we, for me, to keep it really simple, it is a spiritual issue. It is energy. And do I like it? Yeah, I like it. I like having it because I can not only take care of my family, but I can take care of other people. I can take better care of myself as well, which is what we're supposed to do. We're responsible for our well-being. We're responsible to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally. And money is in every aspect of our life. So lack of money actually creates a lot of stress. Stress creates physical ailments. Stress creates relationship problems. Stress creates, health problems, obviously, on a much deeper level. But emotionally, stress is, it can be really depleting. Then it trickles into everything else. And so for me, being spiritually based, going to a place saying, I have enough for everything always. I mean, thank God, always had a roof over my head and, food on the table. Sometimes it was scary. Sometimes I had to wonder, can I buy this or can I buy that? Do I need to? Yeah, I've been there. I've been up and down many different times. Gee, sometimes it just felt like I was on a roller coaster. Wee, right? anyways, anyways, but so for me, having a spiritual foundation, knowing that all is well, I'm going to be taken care of. I have everything I need whenever I need. That gives me the emotional stability. It gives me the opportunity to actually look at my challenges with a clear mind, take my inventory, do a reality check,
Mhm.
and then make choices based on that. So did we cover, everything you wanted to as far as where we're going physically,
Well,
mentally, emotionally?
absolutely. These are all dimensions of wellness that bring us to the place that we want to be, that we're trying to be every day. So, yes, we
Yeah,
can't skip out on any part, especially spirituality. Spirituality is just as big as the intellectual or the career or the vocational, other occupational relationships. I mean, it's one big segment that we just can't bypass.
yeah. No, it is. It's such an intricate part of ourselves. So we're
Hmm.
going to go ahead and wrap this up. So this is episode 6, and we're here for the entire month. We'll be talking about how money shows up in every aspect of our lives. We're talking about going from hopeful, which is what we covered last week, the different topics, and this week is happy. How do we become happy with what we have? Next week is going to be on joyful. There's so much we can do once our basic needs are met. We can be joyful. And the last week, it's actually free, and that's like, what do we do once we have the freedom? Once we've made these choices, we know what's going on. So stick with us, folks, and you have questions, please look below. And we'll be adding all kinds of prizes and downloads, if you will. So just keep checking, and we're just getting started. We're just getting started, and we're going to be implementing the pick system. You're going to be able to apply it to every aspect of your life: perception, inventory, and choice. How do you do that? And so I'm super excited. So if you have any questions, let us know. Sherry, thank you so much for this. Every time we do this, I learn so much from you, different
Yeah,
perspective. And the science behind it all. I just love the way you just put it together. Yeah, thank you.
my pleasure as always.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, we're signing off. Ann Devere with my fabulous partner over here, Sherry
Sherry, Sherry.
Savannah.
Oh, ooh, and surround sound.
In surround sound. Yes, yes. We'll see you tomorrow.